What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at 35 gems under $50 because Mellow Yellow, shout out to you, recommended a video with some cheaper Pokemon card plays compared to my usual PSA 10 videos. Now, the PSA 10 videos can be useful for thinking about what raw cards you want to buy, right? Because like a lot of these PSA 10 prices can predict the future prices of the raw, whether it's going up or down. But either way, we will be focusing on raw cards here. Now, if you like these kinds of videos, let me know in the comments, hit that like button. And if this one does well, we'll do cards under $25 because I kind of tried to range it between $50 and $25 for this video. So the next one can be even cheaper cards, but there was a lot of good ones just in the range of 50 to 25. So I didn't want to do like 100 cards under $50 and then have like $10 cards there too. So yeah, let me know if that's something you'd want to see. First and foremost, we're starting off with Drowzee. Drowzee has an absolutely, I'm going to go a bit more into detail with this first one just so you guys can get a sense of what kind of stuff you can look for when thinking about whether a raw card is going up. Right, 151 Pokemon, absolutely breathtaking artwork, which can be subjective to be fair, but I got this way back when it was 3 times cheaper at a local shop. And I'm not surprised at all that it skyrocketed up. Another thing to consider is Scarlet and Violet PSA 10 prices. This right now has sold from PSA, which is a good measure of what something can sell for because PSA is a trusted source. People sometimes don't care about paying a bit extra to get from PSA. So these numbers are, I think, like legit what people are willing to pay for when they know they're going to get the product in good condition and everything. So you have 650 USD compared to 33 USD. I think you can tell and predict that the price is going up. To give you an example, so the Magikarp, let's take the high sales here, 1,500 is going for 232 USD right now. If we take the Magikarp PSA 10 price divided by the current raw price, we get 6.46. And so if we do that and do a little math and see what if the discrepancy was similar to the Magikarp as it is with the Drowzee, we're going to try to figure out what the Drowzee would be at, right? If all things were fair. And in this situation, if we do the math, we're going to find out that 101 USD would be a fair price if we're looking at the difference between Magikarp's PSA 10 and raw price. And if it was a similar thing with the Drowzee, the raw price should rise to 101. Now you can obviously think for yourself, is the Magikarp PSA 10 underpriced? Is the Drowzee overpriced? Is the raw underpriced? Right? You could try to think about what that means yourself. But if we're looking at multiple prices here for the Drowzee that are over 600 bucks, right? Here we have this one pretty much too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially this one. So 5 or 6 right off the bat. The one 650, but all around 600. I think you could tell that, yeah, this one's definitely looking to move higher than a 33 USD price point for sure. So I think this one's very undervalued. But that's the kind of comparisons you can make and to see if there's something wrong with the market or discrepancy in the market and take advantage of it. Now you might think PSA 10 rates and the difficulty to hit a PSA 10 is different with the Magikarp and Drowzee. Actually, it's very similar. They're both around 20%. So that's the case with that. Now, if you guys do enjoy these kinds of videos, subscribe. I do it right. You could leave suggestions like Yellow Mellow did, and I could cover that topic in a future video. Like if you enjoy these kinds of videos, and obviously for channel members, you guys know a lot of the videos are going to be here because you have a heads up of what I'm buying, what I'm selling in live time. So if you guys want to be part of the member community, just hit that join next to the subscribe button and you'll get all the extra information and you'll know beforehand what I'm buying and what I'm selling. So here we go. Another is Gardevoir. Now, if you saw if it's super close, like 51, most recent sale 50, like if it's super close, I just count it as 50. Gardevoir, right? Super popular Pokemon. The shiny Gardevoir is doing well, but this one has the added benefit of being cheaper, has the added benefit of being a very old card at this point, relatively speaking, the Scarlet and Violet era, right? It's the first set that came out. It's a chase card currently, the number one chase card for that first Scarlet and Violet set. Plus, it's the pinnacle of that amazing artwork shared story that you have. That's arguably one of the best, most touching. You see the family grow from a daughter and all the way to like a grandma. So it's very cool, very interesting artwork. And yeah, this would definitely be a buy if you don't have it. I've had this for a very long time. I actually drew it a while back when Scarlet and Violet came out. And then I bought a PSA 10 afterwards as well. So you guys are not going to be surprised, but Kirlia and Routes are almost more of screaming buys to me. Not only are they cheaper in price, but the PSA 10 values and the difficulty to get PSA 10 for these non-textured cards is really difficult in base set. So I would definitely jump on these. I think they have a lot of room to grow. Routes in particular, I don't know why. It seems like should be the same, but Routes is significantly harder to grade. One of the hardest I've ever seen. 14% of everyone who thought their card might be good enough to send to PSA and pay the fee, only 14% got PSA 10. So incredibly small chance on this card of getting a PSA 10, which spells good things for the raw price because both are gonna command like a premium for that reason. Ninetales, right? I've been talking about this for a long time, way before it was between the $50 and $25 range. But now it is. It's gone up. Had this in a PSA 10 for a long time. It at least tripled in price, if not quadrupled, since I got it. Like there have been crazy sales for the Ninetales in PSA 10. I think as the second illustration rare, if not the second card, most expensive card in the whole set, I think it's definitely undervalued in Obsidian Flames. And Obsidian Flames in general is undervalued, so I think that Ninetales is a great buy. Plus, I love Ninetales. I am biased in that sense. But Meryl, another card that's seen some absolutely crazy PSA 10 prices, many sales over 400 USD. So at 33, it's looking very cheap, especially if those PSA 10 sales keep up. Another thing is it's a beautiful card. And beyond that, it's Gen 2. I think Gen 2 is underrated. Obviously, it isn't the original 151, but some popular Pokemon like Meryl in Gen 2 have the exact same effect upon a lot of us OG investors that the original 151 do. In some cases more, because Meryl is definitely one of the cuter, more popular ones. So there's definitely potential for this card to do well long term. Tyranitar, right? I don't know if it'll be under 50 for much longer. Tyranitar is traditionally a fan favorite Pokemon. There's a lot of Tyranitar Pokemon cards that have popped off, including that sleeping Tyranitar from Battle Styles. And when Battle Style sells out and that does a run, it might bode well for this one too, right? Paldea Evolved, hard to grade, just like Scarlet and Violet base. This one and the Meryl are especially hard, only like 18% chance of hitting a PSA 10. So that will also mean good things for the raw price. I think the PSA 10 for this is also going close to the Meryl at least, last time I checked. Plus you have the added bonus that it's a fan favorite Pokemon, and obviously that artwork is absolutely amazing. The Godzilla style, very cool. So 151, guys, I think 151 is going to see a lot of price growth. And this might be cheating, but I would count Alakazam, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmeleon, Pikachu, Wartortle, Ivysaur, and Dragonair. Pretty much all the illustration rares under $50, 50 or under, and then before $25 range as undervalued. I do think that 151 prices are going to go up when the supply dries up, which we're not that close to because of the blooming waters stuff. But in a year, 2 years from now, I think everything 151 is going to be doing really well, and these are some of the most popular Pokemon in the game, right? Or at the very least, related to them. I especially love War Turtle personally, but obviously Ivysaur is solid too. I love Dragonair, Pikachu, right? Like Pikachu at 34, like crazy. Giovanni's Charisma, I love this card. I have 5 copies of it. I had them before they blew up. The only thing to consider with this is it had a, if you want to call it, inorganic rise very recently because of the Team Rocket hype. So this card isn't as naturally, like it wasn't at this level for as long as these other cards. So that's one reason you might want to avoid it if you're extra cautious. But I think this artwork looks absolutely sick, and I would not be surprised if this card also goes up in the long term. All right, so we are looking at Garchomp here. I think Garchomp is undervalued. If you look at the big 3 of these kinds of cards, you have Obsidian Flames Charizard, Dark Charizard. You have the Fighting type Greninja from Twilight Masquerade, and you have this Water type Garchomp, right? They didn't do it a lot, but that while it lasted, it was an interesting concept, giving a type that the Pokemon's not usually associated with and making that their main type. And because of that, I was interested in this a long time ago. I bought it and I made a good return on the PSA 10 already. But Garchomp's also a fan favorite Pokemon, so you're combining that with the fact that, yeah, who knows if we're ever going to get a water type Garchomp again moving forward. It's very unique from that perspective. Another one is Steelix. I've been meaning to get this one. This one I don't have yet, but if I see it at a local store for this price, I will pick it up immediately. I'm not willing to buy it online and pay shipping, in some cases more than the card's worth to get it. But if I see it in person, if I can actually get it for this price, I would. Again, a popular Gen 2 related to a Gen 1 Onix, but I think a lot of people even prefer Steelix. And the idea of him working within the real world and being useful, very interesting, unique idea. And so I like it for that reason. Here, I'm mostly interested in the Pikachu, right? We don't know if these shinies will do well in the long run, but if any single one does, I think Pikachu is a safe bet. You know, the mascot of the entire franchise, and Paldea Fates is just continuing to surprise us with how well it's doing. I think you could do a lot worse than the most expensive of the shinies right there. I do have a PSA 10 of this one as well, and I was lucky enough to draw one when I was opening up Paldea Fates a good while ago. Here we have Gastly is a screaming buy to me here. I would not be surprised at all if in the long run Gastly overtakes all 4 of these. All 4 of them. At least I expect to see it in second place, but I wouldn't be surprised if it overtakes Raging Bolt eventually. This Gastly is absolutely amazing artwork. I've had it for a long time, right? Before it has been recently growing, but I've had it a long time before that. I have the Arbok too, but that one's not within this price range. But you have multiple Gengars, right? You have amazing artwork. You have Haunters. You have the Meowth here. So many amazing things going for this card. Plus, it's the #1 most expensive PSA 10 card in the entire set, which if you guys watch my monthly PSA 10 prices video, the most expensive ones in Scarlet and Violet era, then you would have known that as well. So that could well mean that this one will surpass all the other ones because of the highest PSA 10 price. Here we have Chansey. Chansey just hit over that 25 USD mark recently. I've had a PSA 10 of this for a while now. It's tripled in price. There's a lot to like about this card. A lot of anybody who's played the games knows the Pokemon Center very well. Here you also have a lot of 151 love with Bellsprout, Snorlax, Psyduck, Ditto, Chansey, right? Very nostalgic for anyone that played the games. Everyone knows about the Pokemon Center. Everyone associates Chansey with it. Very, very good pickup in my opinion. And it's not even close to that 50 USD mark. So I think long term, this will do very well. And keep in mind, guys, we are in a strong market right now. If the market gets less strong or if the market crashes, everything will crash, right? Pretty much everything will crash. If it goes up, everything will go up in theory, right? But I do think these cards that I'm pointing out here have the most likelihood of doing well long term in the price range compared to the cards around it. Here in Shrouded Fable, you got the Horsey. You guys would have known a long time ago, if you watched my first video, that's almost 3 months old at this point. I went through my portfolio and I told you guys I like the Persian, I like the Horsey. I had them both in PSA 10. I was looking to grab more Persian, but in PSA 10, it literally tripled in price since I got it. So I missed the boat on getting more there. But Persian is no longer under 50 USD. Horsey still is. And that PSA 10 did really well as well. But here you could still get the raw for about 25 USD. So I wouldn't be surprised if that grows a lot more moving forward. 151 Pokemon, right? That's always a good thing to look out for. Here, Latios is by far the most interesting play to me in Surging Sparks. I think that being tied with the artwork for Latias gives it a lot of room to grow. I think that it's a beautiful artwork, but also Latias and Latios connected artworks have an amazing track record. Look at the most expensive tag team card. It's Latias and Latios, right? So for a lot of reasons, and even if you look at the chart for this, it hasn't been going down like the charts for Latias and Pikachu and a lot of other cards in the set. So I think that Latios is one of my favorite purchases right now. Obviously, it's nice to have the Pikachu and to, have the most expensive card. Pikachu, like I said, mascot of the franchise. I do think this card will do well long term. But at like a value perspective, how much you're paying and how much possibility there is, I really like Latios. So from Crown Zenith, Leafeon, Glaceon, right? The two evolutions. And of course, Suicune, Raikou, and Entei, the 3 legendary dogs. I think those 5 cards are really good buys for under 50 USD. Here, we don't have a lot, but the Blaziken VMAX and even the Blaziken V. Why am I interested in this? First of all, I think that May being in there, a lot of us will remember her from the anime, is a really cool Easter egg, really cool aspect to the card. Gives it an added sense of emotion. The VMAX has humor, plus a lot of the cards, the VMAX cards that did really well and are the top chase cards of the Sword and Shield era, their related trainer galleries have also done really well. So as Blaziken VMAX, that card continues to do well into the long run, the one from Chilling Reign, it should bode well for these cards as well, especially the Blaziken VMAX. So I do have both of these in PSA 10, like them a lot, and even drew the normal Blaziken in a pack as well. Lucky. I do get lucky sometimes. Here, Pikachu, definitely screaming buy in this situation. Right on that 50 USD mark. Some people like this artwork even more than this one. You have Red, right? Iconic trainer, probably the most iconic you can get, the trainer Pokemon combination. Like I said, again, it's Pikachu. I actually ended up drawing this twice from Lost Origin packs, so I have 2 in raw. Absolutely love this card, and I see good things, especially as the Lost Origin booster box has gotten so expensive, so you're going to get less people chasing it, trying to find it, so it's going to be more scarce. Here, obviously, I made videos recommending all of these top cards, but by now they're all past 50 USD. Which one isn't still? A 151 Beedrill. I got this card in PSA 10 in person. It's absolutely stunning. This card, this picture doesn't even do it justice. Very cool Pokemon card. And I do think Astral Radiance is one of the booster boxes that's going to be making moves. Again, we never know how long it'll take, but it is lagging behind. It will eventually make moves like the other Sword and Shield sets, and the cards will benefit. The cards inside will benefit from that move. Here, I really like the Sylveon V. I drew it once. I loved it so much that I purchased a PSA 10 of it. right? It's gone up a lot, but I always thought this was an absolutely beautiful card. You have Sylveon, a fan favorite Pokemon, and you have a beautiful trainer as well, and the combination I think works really well. I personally like it more than the VMAX. I know a lot of people like the VMAX more, but for me personally, this one is an amazing looking card. This Arceus I wouldn't recommend just because I'm not a big fan of the artwork myself. That being said, Arceus is obviously can do well. The golden card in Crown Zenith has been doing really well, and it could spell good things for this card moving forward. It's just the artwork I like in Crown Zenith for the Arceus way more, and since I won't get this card, since I'm not a big fan of the artwork, I'm not going to recommend it. These two also great. I think Mimikyu is a very popular Pokemon. You have a great trainer Pokemon combination, my favorite in Sun and Moon. And then also you have this one in particular I prefer. This has a very cool artwork, very creepy vibe in a good way. It's like a cute creepy at the same time. This one's just more so cute. But yeah, I like both of them at this price point, but I do prefer the one watching TV. Here, I love the Galarian Rapidash for the 50 USD price point. It's not common that you'll have these Galarian variants or different kind of variants becoming potentially more popular than the original, but I think Galarian Rapidash is one of those. It has that unicorn aesthetic. I think it's one of those, like with even the Ninetales, even though I love the original Ninetales, it's one of those that arguably some people might say looks even better, and at the very least, it's a great addition to the original. And this artwork is stunning as well, so I do have this one at PSA 10, and I would definitely recommend it. And that might be it. Yeah, that might be it for the cards that I recommend right now. Guys, like I said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed these kinds of videos, right? If you want to the same kind of video for cards under 25 USD, let me know. Hit that like button. Let me know in the comments. If you have any other types of videos you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss that other video when it comes out. And like I said, if you want to know, be the first to know about everything I'm looking at, about all the trades I'm making, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, join the member community. Thank you for everyone who did, and I'll see you in the next video.